When browsing online, there are so many threats that can cause damage to your computer. You hear a lot about them in the news, but there's not a lot of information out there on tools to use that can help cut the chances of you being impacted by one of these threats. Most of the time, people do not use the tools that could help them protect themselves from a lack. It could be from a lack of knowledge. It could be because they don't know that the tool exists, or the tool is too complicated for the average user to figure out how to use. I will give you a list of good tools and explain why you should use them. The best way to protect your account is to enable two-factor authentication. It requires you to not only log in using your username and password, but also requires a secondary form of identification like an emailed one-time use password or text message. This is the best way to avoid issues with a regular type of login. According to Abdullah A. in 2022, more recently with the remarkable development in the computer security field, single factor authentication, such as traditional login password, is considered insufficiently secure for many important security applications, such as logging into your mail accounts, etc. This protection approach is easy prey for cybercriminals, where simple, clear, and easy to guess passwords are discovered, such as age and names are effortlessly found using computerized secret key collecting programs. This explains that your basic login and username and password is not enough to keep someone out of your important accounts and can be compromised in a matter of seconds. Even with how valuable this tool is for protecting your accounts, there are still those that believe that the inconvenience is not worth the protection of the data because the user accessibility is not being able to access their stuff as easy as before. According to K&M in 2022, 2FA mechanism usually exhibit user experience issues that create user friction and even lead to a poor acceptance, hampering the wider spread of 2FA. When 2FA was in its starting phase, it was not easy to use a lot of the time. It would not send the code for you to get in, but after years of study and improvement, these issues are outdated. Two-factor authentication is a valuable tool to keep cyber attackers from accessing your accounts and stealing important and sensitive data from your accounts. Because it requires an extra step to access the data, either by email or by texting, allowing you more control over what devices get access to these accounts. According to Ahmed K. in 2013, phishing is a type of attack in which cybercriminals trick the victims to steal their personal and financial data. It has become an organized criminal activity. Spoofed emails claiming to be from a legitimate source are crafted in a way to lead victims to reveal their personal financial data by misdirecting them to the counterfeit website. These attacks are not complex and consist of mostly human behavioral engineering to trick people to click links in it. It's that simple. There are a few tools you can use to prevent this from happening, as well as common sense and not opening emails or links from sources that you don't know where they came from. According to M. Amir, during the pandemic COVID-19 outbreaks, the number of cyber attacks, including phishing activities, have increased tremendously. Number of phishing websites detected were 888,585 in 3 months. Nowadays, many technical solutions, phishing detection, were developed. However, these approaches were either unsuccessful or unable to identify phishing pages and detect malicious code. The best way to avoid phishing attacks is to use common sense and do not open emails or click on links that you do not know where they came from or who sent them. Saving the best tool for last, and the first thing you need to focus on is a strong and complex password. When setting up your accounts, to make sure they are safe and secure and don't have insecure passwords, are the biggest vulnerability in a hacker accessing your accounts is in insecure passwords. Weak passwords and availability of supercomputers to password crackers make the financial institution and businesses at stake. This calls for the use of strong passwords and multi-factor authentication for secure transactions. Remembering a long and complex passwords by humans is a daunting task, and mnemonic has helped to mitigate this situation to an extent. Having a weak password is a huge problem, and remembering one is even harder. but you have to find a way to balance it. Not even big corporations have figured out how to do this yet, though. According to Shalia M., in 2022, cybersecurity threats continue to be a major concern for individuals and institutions around the world. The use of weak passwords has contributed to some high profile cybersecurity breaches, including those at Target and Equifax. An investigation by Verizon in 2017 indicated that 81% of corporate security breaches were due to weak passwords being hacked. Efforts to increase cybersecurity in organizations has included the use of educational training. These breaches cause millions of dollars in damages and expose millions of people's personal information and is sold to unintended parties online, and it could easily be avoided. Making sure your password is long, with special characters and not easily guessable, are basic parameters for any password, and to make it extra strong, you should employ a random password generator and a password wallet so you can make them even harder to guess. According to Oxford University in 2022, create different and strong passwords, use two-step verification, set up account recovery options, set strong answers to security questions, check your account for unusual activity, only use trusted devices. With these steps, you can help curb any attempt to steal your information. Doing these steps are the principles for basic security. Average people, banks, and other financial institutions, schools, small governments, all of these entities have one thing in common, and that is that all of them face cybersecurity weaknesses, and staying informed and one step ahead of the attackers is a constant battle. But with a little information and a little effort, you can keep your accounts secure. Now that we have gone over a basic set of security guidelines, you are equipped to keep your personal data and banking information secure online and not have to worry about security breaches. This has been my speech on cybersecurity threats.